questions for the players first. Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you.
Yeah, Jersey. Just how have you feel? How do you feel like you continue to grow within this system and find your offensive role? And just what were you feeling tonight?
Yeah, I think within this system, Coach Mulkey always challenges you on and off the court, and I think that growth comes from being comfortable with those challenges and facing them head on each day.
Into bob and weave there a little bit. Jersey, what things have come back to you? You sat out all last year, right? What things have come back to you easily? What things do you still feel like you have to work on to be the player that you want to be?
I think just the speed of the game, I'm getting more comfortable with knowing my strengths. Obviously, I want to get out there and be more effective on the boards. I think that's something that I can contribute more of. But other than that, just getting back to playing the game I love and getting to be around a staff and some teammates that really, really inspire me to be better.
Yeah, this is for Aneesah. Another double-double for somebody who really doesn't get many plays run for. I mean, they don't really come to you a lot. Just talk about the attitude you have every game of just you go out and do your stuff and get your points and rebounds the hard way.
Yeah. For me, it's just about doing whatever I can to help my team. If plays aren't being ran for me, that's fine. I have to find a way to produce offensively or defensively to help my team. Being able to get in the passing lane, being able to be active defensively, and that's starting from the jump.
Aneesah, tell us about the full court press in the first quarter. How were you able to get those deflections that led to buckets?
We wanted to control the tempo of the game, and that was our main focus. And when we talked in the huddle, just control the tempo of the game, and we knew that we would be able to do that. They love transition, so being able to stop them full court and being able to just control that tempo is what we wanted to do, and I feel like we did a good job with that tonight.
Yeah, Aneesah, being able to play with different bigs this year from Jersey, Aaliyah, Samaya. What has it been like trying to play off of them and learning how to?
Trying to just understand their game personally, and I get to experience that in practice every day. Knowing if I should set a certain screen for this player or if this person will be open on a rebound, should I box this person out? Like, I kind of let that go through my head throughout practice, and it transfers into the game.
Jersey, take us back to last spring, I guess. What were those early conversations like with this team and the program about potentially transferring here?
I knew this was my place when I first got a call from Coach Mulkey and her staff. I think for me, it kind of solidified hey, you're still on the right path. Your journey's still going. You can still dream big, and it's a program you really can't say no to. Once they give you the opportunity, you have to jump on it instantly.
Any more for these girls? All right, thank you.
See y'all tomorrow. Good job. There's a water, Aneesah, if you want it.
Stay hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Coach Mulkey, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you.
Well, Coach, you get to the free throw line 44 times. Just what were your thoughts on the offense and how aggressive y'all were getting to the rim?
Well, I figured it'd be a track meet. That's how they play. They like to run. They like to push it. They didn't press as much as I thought they would. So I felt like we were going to start the game and do what we do. This team presses. And I thought we created a lot of things in the full court, particularly with Aneesah on the ball. I did not, getting to the foul line is great. I did not like in the fourth quarter we allowed them to get to the foul line at the 7-minute mark. And consequently, they scored just about as many points as we did in that fourth quarter. We didn't have as much bench production, in my opinion, from the perimeter like we had been. And until I see the film, I don't want to say it was because of their defense. We missed a lot of layups.
Coach, why decide to start Amani over Samaya tonight?
A decision on things that happened in practice, on focusing and paying attention. Are y'all aware that staff is from this neck of the woods? Y'all might want to give them a little pub. Head coach, coached at Ponchatoula, coached at LaRonja. She's from Franklinton. Assistant coach played at LaRonja and then Northwestern, and then one of the assistants is from Zachary.
I think one of them coached Michaela's mom.
I don't know about that.
That's what one of the announcers
I
said.
don't know. Don't believe everything they tell you. But I know they were excited to come back and play at LSU.
Yeah, and just I saw you have a lot of conversations with Cheyenne and just continuing to work with her and how you want her to play and how she's settling in. Just what are those conversations like?
Well, Cheyenne has college experience. This is her last year, and I get that it's the hardest position on the floor to play. It's like the quarterback in football. The point guard's got to know everybody. You got to run the show. You got to point your fingers. You got to correct them. You got to get them going. That's a lot to ask for a new player. And yet at the same time, you got to produce while you're out there. What is producing? 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Hit a few shots. Get to the foul line. Do something. And I think that Poe has been in the system now. She knows what to expect. Poa didn't score from the field either, but she took 3 or 4 charges. In fact, I think the only perimeter sub that scored was Jada, if I remember the stat sheet. So we gotta make sure they understand this is something you gotta do every day. You can't just turn it on and off, and it's hard. It's not easy, particularly when you got the ball in your hands.
I guess, how did you see Samaya play come off the bench? What did you see from her tonight in that role?
Still got to work with Samaya with her hands. She got to grip that ball. She rebounded the ball pretty good. She had almost 10 rebounds. She had 8. Her field goal percentage is good. I want her to get to more offensive rebounds. Make yourself hard to block out. You're not going to win a battle down there physically. You don't have that kind of body. So keep in mind that this is another kid that's been away from the game for a year, had knee surgery December a year ago. So just keep plugging away and get as much production out of every post player that you have. If it's a little bit here one night, a little bit here the next night, just keep growing.
Scott?
I don't know if we've ever asked you about Armani Bartlett, but obviously she could have gone, a couple of years ago. She hasn't had a lot of playing time, but she's stuck with the program. What does that say for her and her wanting to be part of this program?
Well, Amani recognizes what priorities are in life. She's about to graduate with a degree from LSU. If you're going to leave and transfer, are you going to go somewhere that plays at this level and get any more minutes than you would get at this level? Or are you going to go and play down? Is that what you really want to do? Do you want that LSU degree, or do you want to get a degree somewhere else? All those things play into people's minds. I'm very pleased with what Amani brings to this team. She has been an unbelievable leader. She has matured. She's grown up. I know she wants to play more minutes. Who doesn't? But you don't see that much in the world of college athletics anymore. Kids don't stay 3 and 4 years anymore. Sadly, that's how you build a foundation. That's how you build championship teams. And that's gone. You're not going to have that anymore in any sport. You're going to go out there to the court, you're going to go out there on the field, and you're just going to say, this is what I have this year, let's start over and let's figure it out.
Is it still early, but are you starting to get an idea of your bench, who you think is going to be there and once SEC play, like it's going to give you the minutes, like Jado at 12 tonight?
Too many unknowns still because of Miracle. See, Miracle's not in the equation right now. But I know as soon as she gets cleared, she gonna be right in the equation for one reason only. She makes us better defensively. She is unbelievable defensive player. And I've always had a defensive stopper, or have tried to have a defensive stopper on the perimeter. And the minute she gets back, then things may shift here and there, and I may change my mind on the rotation. But right now, I wouldn't say I have a rotation.
As a coach, do you kind of like, the challenge now every year of putting a whole new roster together?
No. What you like to have is freshmen become sophomores, sophomores become juniors. You waited your turn, now you become an All-American your junior and senior year. That's how it was done for years. And that's how it, I always say this, the older teams that stay together are the ones that win championships. I'll use my own son as an example. He comes here as a freshman. Who's in front of him? Y'all don't even remember. Alex Bregman. His second year, Alex Bregman. Kramer doesn't even get on the roster to go to the World Series because he'd had an injury, but he'd been cleared to go, and Paul Maneri left him off the roster, crushed him. What would most kids do now? I'm out of here. Maybe it has something to do with how he was raised. Maybe it has something to do with his mother looking at him and saying, yeah, you ain't good enough to play at LSU. I think you ought to go play at a lesser level. Well, that just pissed him off. And then he became a two-time All-American here at LSU. He plays for the national championship, and he was inches away from winning it. So those days are over, sadly. You'll have one or two here and there that might do it and stay. But, guys, you got kids transferring that aren't even, they're all conference players. They just wake up and go, oh, I'm mad at the coach today. Oh, my boyfriend moved here. Oh, who knows? You got to keep NIL in there too. You just never know. It's hard. It is hard. It's much easier when you look back 20 years ago where you knew, oh, I got this kid coming back, man, she's ready. She took her licks her freshman year or so. That's how you build it. That is gone. You don't have that anymore.
Got time for a couple more here.
You told him that?
Yeah, I did.
I think I remember that story now.
And I also told Paul Maneri. I said, Paul, he ain't good enough to play here. And Paul said, don't say that. I said, well, I'm just going to tell you how I'm going to motivate him. But most parents, particularly the mamas, they don't motivate like that, right? That was my way of motivating him because I knew he was at rock bottom. And needless to say, he became an unbelievable leader his last 2 years. And just very proud of him, really, because you don't see that anymore.
It has changed for sure. Do you have a game or date in mind when you hope Shepherd will be able to play again?
I asked, actually, she practiced with us. We had an hour shoot around today, and she was on the floor, and I just jumped. And I looked at the trainer, and I said, can she play tonight? She said, no. So this is her 4th week of being away. So I don't ask. I am so conservative. I do not ask for fear of anybody ever thinking you're trying to rush them back. But I had the injury. But mine was broken. Mine was fractured. And it took 4 weeks to heal. So when I lay in that bed at night and I'm talking to the good Lord, I'm like, Lord, this is the 4th week. And she didn't have a fracture. She just had a reaction. Help us here. I haven't asked. When she tells me she can play, I'll put her on that floor.
Since we're talking about the transfer portal, I figured it'd be a good time to ask about the signing class and just tell us about how you approached recruiting the 4 that you signed and what you hope their careers will lead to here.
Oh, we signed just a great, talented group that play every position but a back-to-the-basket 5 player. Those are hard to come by. So if you want to criticize us for not signing a 5 player, well, go find me one to recruit. They don't make them very often. So we signed Divine, can play the point, can play the off guard. We signed Big Z from Kentucky, big guard, can post you up, can rebound, and then you add Grace to the mix. She's more of a Morrow type, just a hard nose, hard to keep her off the boards. And then you add Bella, who can shoot the three ball. Comes from a winning program in the summer. They won just about everything with Cy-Fair, and we're excited about those guys. Three of the four came on an official visit together, and we got all three of them. And we're always recruiting, guys. You never stop recruiting. Sadly, the recruiting now is you got to wait till the end of the season to see who stays, who goes, and who's in the portal. And that never has been like that till here of late and recently.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay?